Scott Squad, we are back in the building and we're talking Married to Medicine and some possible reasons that Dr. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly may have fallen out. We're also going to be talking about Nene Leakes in this lawsuit and how the signs were there all along and the writing has been on the wall for quite some time. And we were actually told about this a long time ago. Just as a reminder for you guys. Now, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and join the texting community so that we can send you a text message as soon as a new video drops. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tea. Now, first things first, we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine, okay? So for those of you guys that don't know, T.S. Madison has a banging talk show on Fox Soul called Turned Out with T.S. Madison. And on there, she's featured special guests, including the likes of Lee Daniels, Monique, the comedian, and more. Okay. And so she had Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa on there. And as you guys can see from the thumbnail, the question is, was there infidelity? Now, you guys may recall from last season, Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott had the biggest storyline. Well, I would say one of the biggest storylines on the season of Married to Medicine, with there being, allegations of infidelity or really just sort of interesting dialogue from Dr. Scott, which really confused, I think, Dr. Contessa as well as the cast and much of the audience. Now, I think we can all safely say with, I'm pretty certain that most of the cast and I'm pretty certain that most of the audience really did want their marriage to work. It just always seemed like Scott at the time was doing something to kind of put his foot in his mouth and make the situation worse and get in his own way. But if you look on social media, it looks as though the two are sort of back on track, and maybe that's with therapy. I'm sure we'll find out in the upcoming season of Married to Medicine. However, that's not what this is about. We're talking about the likely demise of the relationship between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. Okay? Because on the show, according to Urban Bell Mag, and I'll place a link for the actual video and I will place a link for the article as well in the description of this video so that you guys can have both at your leisure. They not only discuss their marriage, but they discuss that Dr. Contessa said that people she thought were her friends tried to tell her that Dr. Scott was not being faithful. Okay. So there's that bit of information. People she thought were her friends tried to tell her that Dr. Scott wasn't being faithful. She says, quote, "I heard it from friends, people who I thought were my friends. And some people would just say stuff like, girl, dot, dot, dot. And they would never give you anything concrete, right? But they would plant these seeds." So then T.S. Madison, of course, getting directly into the tea, asked about the season being full of drama. Okay. And so Dr. Contessa says, "It's crazy. I scared myself a little bit." Okay. So when TS asked, was there an altercation that really happened? Dr. Contessa said, "What's the definition of fighting?" And T.S. Madison responded, "Of course, throwing those hands, putting those paws on somebody." So Dr. Contessa then says, "Do they have to make a connection in order to, if you throw them, I don't know. I mean, you have to watch." Okay, so let's dissect that. She says, "Do they have to make a connection in order to," so that means that paw can be thrown, okay, but somebody might have did a bob and a weave, okay. She says, I mean, you have to watch. So Scott then has a question for himself. He says, was any weaves snatched? And Dr. Contessa says, not mine. I mean, this ain't what you want. Okay. Now, the reason why people think that part of the reason why people think that this beef is between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa is because they've kind of been having like some shady Instagram posts, over the past couple of months and weeks. There was a post that I told you guys about that Dr. Heavenly had posted where she was dancing and said, "At work, happy, I don't have to worry about where my man is." And then she hashtagged Dr. Damon Kimes. Well, she tagged him. Then she tagged Team Daddy, hashtag Married to Medicine, hashtag Married to Med. And some people thought that that was maybe in retaliation to something that Dr. Contessa had posted, a picture of her and Dr. Scott, okay, with the caption that read "Mommy and Daddy." So, do you guys think that the major confrontation between Dr. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly is what is really going to be playing out this season on Married to Medicine? And do you guys think that if this was the case, because as of course we say, everything is alleged until we actually see it for ourselves. Do you think that Dr. Heavenly was right to try to warn Dr. Contessa about Dr. Scott? Let us know in the comment section down below. Now, I want to also talk to you guys about Nene Leakes' lawsuit. Okay. Now, we know that Nene Leakes is suing the Bravo. Okay. We also know that she's suing Andy Cohen, the production companies behind the Real Housewives of Atlanta, NBC Universal. But there was also a time when she had hired attorney Lisa Bloom a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys recall that. Okay. And so, in a recently resurfaced clip on the Jasmine brand, Kenya Moore told us that Nene Leakes was going to allegedly sue Bravo on a Speak On It with Candy from just a few years ago, around the time that Nene Leakes had hired Lisa Bloom. Now, if I'm correct, this was around the same time that Nene was, I think, not being featured in as many episodes. It might have been the Snake Gate season. I'm not sure if it was before that or after that. But I do recall there being this big hoopla about Nene Leakes hiring Lisa Bloom. Actually, let's do this real time. I can definitely check that date for you while I am doing this video. I can check the date on that one. Okay. That's easy. That ain't nothing but a Google search. Okay, so that was February of 2020. Okay. And the Sun had reported that she had hired A-list Lisa Bloom to work her side hustle. Okay. That's what Wendy Williams had claimed at the time. Now, not sure what that side hustle was. Okay. But Wendy had let us know online on her show. She said it's not about her personal life with her family. It's about the side hustle, whether it's a wig line, a clothing line, fashion, acting roles, the whole bit. Nene doesn't know, well, why everyone was so delightful. Then all of a sudden I hear nothing. Well, that was um, in relation to something else. She then says, so that's why she hired Lisa to get to the bottom of outside of the housewives and her personal life business and that side hustle. And Nene Leakes had also posted on her Instagram, happy I now have Lisa Bloom on my team. I have stayed quiet a long time and gathered info along the way, but now I'm going to make some noise. Hashtag wait for it. Hashtag unfair. In confidence, go here. Book Nene at gmail.com. Okay. Now, let's go to the clip in question and just get a little taste of what Kenya tried to tell us back then.
Now, you know, the whole thing with her getting Lisa Bloom and getting her ready to sue people, you know, she was about to sue someone or whatever. It was Bravo. She was suing Bravo and
see, I mean, listen, the breadcrumbs have been here all along. It's just finally seeming to manifest and come into fruition. Now, whether or not, I don't know why things didn't work out with Lisa Bloom, but a lot of you guys will remember this. And I'm just kind of reminding you guys because it just popped up on the Jasmine brand. And I just thought, wow, like, let's take a look back at this because it is important to note that she has been talking about this for a long time, but it appears as though the angle is slightly different.
true, because she felt like they were
Allegedly.
Well, Candy, you know, had to chime in and say that they had to say allegedly at the time, but we know now there is a lawsuit, so there's no disputing it. Okay.
Don't be getting me sued.
get cease and desist letters, but I'm telling you for a fact, and you know I don't repeat stuff unless I know it's a fact. She was going to allegedly sue Bravo and sue Truly, talking about how, oh, she's having all these great meetings, but then nothing happens after that. So she was trying to say or allege that they were stopping her from getting other.
So, again, this falls right in line with around the time that Nene Leakes was also talking about, you know, certain people continuing to get spinoff after spinoff after spinoff. Everybody thought that was about Candy. She and Candy had the big blow up about how, you know, how Candy gets her spinoffs. And it's just interesting to see how where we've gone with this, because I could have swore on the Real a few weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago, Nene Leakes had said that, you know, she was maybe open to kind of going back to Bravo. And I'm paraphrasing that, but I'm in my mind, I kind of feel like, again, I have to ask, what is the end game ultimately? And I'm sure there are other media outlets out there that know what the end game is. I just don't understand it myself because it seems as though the angle has changed over the course of time, but there is a similar through line for which she has been sort of basing this lawsuit the entire time. What are your thoughts on this? You know, do you remember this interview with Kenya and Candy from that Speak on It? And do you remember when Nene Leakes hired Lisa Bloom? And do we know why they were no longer working together? Was Lisa Bloom one of the people that was maybe, you know, stopped working with Nene because of alleged pressure from the powers that be? And so now she's ended up with this set of lawyers who are willing to take her case. It's very fascinating to me. I'm literally watching this whole thing play out like an episode of Law and Order because it's unprecedented for a housewife to really go this far with suing the network. And I'm interested to see how it will play out and what the ramifications of this will be as we move forward for other housewives. Okay. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And again, I know this was an old clip. This is we're kind of going back in time, but I felt like it was important to look at the breadcrumbs and see that there has been I mean, it's there's been a string of of instances where Nene has let us know that she was going to take some action, and she is actually doing it, whether it is in her best interest or not. She is fighting the fight. So all I can say is my hope is that she does find the peace that she's looking for, but we will continue to follow this. And if there's anything else that pops up, send it my way, and we'll maybe take a look at it. All right. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and I will catch you in the next